First thing I want to say is we play Tulane on Tuesday, and it's toy drive for the children in Brazos Valley, maybe that need some help at Christmas. So those of you that are coming to our game on Tuesday, if you could stop by Walmart or Target and pick up a toy for a child, we would appreciate it. We've had a good week. We were off last Wednesday following New Orleans. We worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday exclusively about ourselves. We were off Sunday. Nailed down some of the things we needed to get better at on Monday and Tuesday. Our guys have been in a really good groove. We were off yesterday, and now it's 2-day prep for TCU. TCU with a great win last night over Utah. They present multiple problems for us. They're third in the nation in offensive rebounding. They're rebounding 43% of their missed shots. They have one of the premier guards in the country, number one, really good with the ball in his hands for himself and making the game easier for his teammates. Be good to play in the Toyota Center. None of us have ever done that. So we're thankful for our former players that are going to be there. We've made a concerted effort to get as many there as possible. So we just started prep for that earlier today, and excited to be able to finally play again.
What about facing Emmanuel Mildred?
I just think that that's part of what's going to happen in college basketball. And I actually, without expanding on it too far, I think that's what's going to happen across the country in every sport. The model has completely changed. Thinking about, well, who's on the team and the rosters changed so much. I think that was kind of the thing to say on social media in the spring. I think it's the same thing that will be said across all teams every year going forward. Everything is new. That's why they're having to figure out how to reconstitute the NCAA, and all the smart people are trying to figure that out over the next 6 months. But I think that'll happen multiple times. We appreciate what he did for our program and what he gave to us in his 2 years, and he's playing at a really high level for those guys.
Do you guys need this break?
It's the longest break, Olin, I've ever had in my career in non-conference. Have never played 8 games in November. Wasn't really sure what to think about it. I think part of my answer is because we went 7-1 and lost to a top 15 team. But in hindsight, you never get 5 days of practice where you don't have to talk about an opponent. And so to be able to have 8 games of data on what we're good at and what we need to get better at, and then to be able to have 5 days of work with 2 off days, I don't know if we could plan that again. We're looking at the schedule for our future to see if maybe we can do the balance of what we did this year and what teams typically do, because I do think there's some merit. The negative is we haven't played, and so there's something to be said about being in a routine of playing, but to be able to have practice and concentrate, watch tape on yourself, practice just on yourself, be able to spend more time on the things that you want to be better at and not have to worry about the pie chart of how much time we're given to the opponent or to certain things. I do think it's been good.
Henry Coleman, I know we've talked about how much he fits into your program and everything like that, but off the field, from what we've heard about him, he's a pretty good fit for Texas A&M with his cowboy boots and everything like that.
Him and Four have been incredible. And I know people mention that I was an assistant here. I was an assistant for Coach G. That means I wasn't here very much. I was gone a lot. But as far as the culture, Four and Henry have been incredible. Like, they know every yell, literally. The hand signs, the words, they know all of it. They have been great. And those 2 guys are close, and I think their enthusiasm specific to those things, Texas A&M, has even encouraged some of our other introverts on our team to be more participatory in what we do. He's been great. He comes from an incredible family. Obviously, I've known him since he was young and got to know their family when we were recruiting him at Virginia Tech. But he's, for someone who couldn't take a visit and we couldn't take a visit to see him. It was all done on Zoom like everybody else across the country. Man, I think he's hit the ground running, not only on the floor but off the floor.
How much did that culture where he came from with the hunting and the cowboy boots, was it an easier sell for a place like this?
Yeah, I think his shuffle probably has the same music that yours has. He has a wide variety of interests. He can have a conversation with you about many more things than I could ever have a conversation with you about. He's well-read, very thoughtful. His parents are unique individuals, and the combination of how they've raised him and his brother is inspiring to me as a parent. They are really good people that believe in blue-collar work ethic, but also do not want to be limited by just a label of a player. And so they have always maybe pushed education just as much as they have athletics. His dad was a really good player for Coach Beamer. His mom is ultra intelligent. Both of them have had great careers in multiple industries, and you can kind of see that both him and his brother, they've had experiences in a lot of different avenues. And I think so he's very worldly in being able to have conversations, like I said, about things that I can't have a conversation about.
Buzz, what do you like most about offensively? Four guys right there, just over 9, and obviously Q leading the way with both. Very balanced. You like that?
Yeah, I was talking to one of the staff members earlier today. I think early in my life, I was a glass half empty person. And I think later in my life, I have become more glass half full. And then now that I'm approaching old, I'm trying to figure out who fills the glass. You can look at our team and go, well, which guy's the best player? And you can argue multiple guys. But if you're only talking about our group of guards, it changes. It changes per game. It changes per practice. And like when they compete in practice, you know, as a coach, you kind of want to coach the guys that are going to play the most. And so at certain times throughout, I guess we've practiced 38 times, I'm like, I'm going to focus on these guys. And then as soon as I start focusing and trying to give my energy to that group of guys, the other group of guys are just whipping them. And I'm like, yeah, I can't even figure out which one is which. So I think the positive is we have multiple guys that can do good things. Not knowing we're counting on this guy, is that positive or negative? I don't know. But I think our team is we have multiple guys. We just can't give away possessions trying to figure out who's going to be their best that night. We need everybody to be their best that night.
Having said that, would you prefer a guy that with 15 seconds left, you're going to him to get the basket?
Yeah, I think our guys know with 15 seconds left who that guy is. We just haven't been in that situation yet. I think there were some situations like that against Notre Dame. But even having said that against Notre Dame, we played 11 guys over 10 minutes, and H is back to almost full strength now. I think he changes the complexion of our team. He was able to practice these 5 days. He gives us a different element, an element that we need. We've just got to figure out how to utilize his strengths in the right way and which group goes best with him.
Coach, what does it mean on Tuesday for your program to be involved in the toy drive game and be able to get back to our community?
We had our staff Christmas party on Sunday, and then we had our team Christmas party last night. And two of my favorite days. They're always going to be on an off day, so I didn't offend anybody earlier, which is fun. But I think the one thing that I'm constantly talking to our team about, even our staff, we're so blessed. We're blessed to be at A&M. We're blessed for the opportunities that are in front of us. But it's always this time of the year, I think it's just human nature to realize how blessed you are and how others are not necessarily not blessed, but maybe they're in a tough spell. maybe they're going through some things and things aren't going right. And so that's why I said what I said at the beginning. We need to all give toys because we got enough toys. And so the people that don't have them, we should give some of our toys to them because that's what we're supposed to do.
So with time off and not necessarily preparing for a team, have you gotten a chance to watch some games at all this last week?
I've studied a lot of TCU, obviously, and I kind of have a process, Chip, on what I do 2 days before a game, what I do 1 day before, and then I also have a process of how I close down a game. So Sunday, the first half of the day, I'll have to close down TCU before I start, even though it's 2 days before on Tulane. So I've been able to study more of us than I normally would, and I think that's been good. I have watched a few more games because we didn't have a game. I've been recruiting a couple of days in this mix, but it's strange, you know, to be able to be at home consecutive nights, not preparing for an opponent, and watch another team. And in some ways, I think that's healthy to be able to watch another team, to be able to see, is this good, is that bad? I've done a couple of mini research projects just based on stuff I like to study on our team and who does it better and how could we figure out how to mix that in. Devin coordinates our defense. Lau coordinates our offense. So we have a staff meeting every day and we talk about the practice plan or we talk about prep for the opponent. And then I try to find time to meet with each of those guys to kind of see what are they studying, what do we need to do better, who does it good that we can study. So I've done a little bit more of that than I probably ever have in December just based off what I was saying with Olin. I've never had a full week off and not had a game.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.